All right, guys, it's about time we have a discussion about Giants reliever Camilo Doval. And this is actually going to be a very tough video for me to make because I've been a big Camilo Doval believer. It's hard to give up on a player when they're a homegrown all-star and you know what their potential is. And so I'm going to start this video off by breaking down his outing from last night, which was just terrible. But we're gonna talk about a few things. All right, so first things first, it's the 8th inning. It's a tie ball game. It's 0-0. Camilo Doval literally just pitched last night. Literally blew the game in the 9th inning. He closed the game yesterday because Ryan Walker was not available. He's been pitching a lot, and I had no problem with him pitching yesterday, but doubling down after what we saw him do yesterday. This is a high leverage situation. It's 0-0 in the 8th inning. Logan Webb just gave you 7 amazing innings. Hunter Green is looking unhittable, and you throw Camilo Doval, who just threw 20-plus pitches the game yesterday, right back into the fire. It's unbelievable. Also, real quick, before I show you and break down his outing from last night, Camilo Doval has not been good since 2023. The Giants manager in 2023 was Gabe Kapler, and the pitching coach was Andrew Bailey. Obviously, when Bob Melvin came, he did not have Andrew Bailey as his pitching coach, and Bob Melvin manages the game way differently than Gabe Kapler. Could that have something to do with it? Maybe, maybe not. I have no idea, but we're going to talk about other reasons besides that. All right, so let's get into the outing from last night. I missed the first pitch. It's a 1-0 count to the Reds 7-hitter, bottom of the lineup up, Spencer Steer. Good pitch inside. That was only a 94-mile-an-hour cutter. When he was an all-star 2 seasons ago, his cutter, his fastball, his sinker, they were sitting at 100 or around 100 miles an hour. That's an insane drop-off, but throws another cutter, 96 this time, a little faster. Still not the Camilo Doval 100 miles an hour we're used to seeing, but those were 2 solid pitches, solid located pitches. So if you got to take some velo offs to locate, I'm not mad at that. Then we got the 1-2 pitch to Spencer Steer. Just misses. Pretty good slider. Just below the zone. It's 2-2 count. All right, count is 2-2 on the Reds 7-hitter, Spencer Steer. Just kind of overthrew that slider. He's got to be mad at himself, though. That was just Steer never even thought about swinging at that. So it's full count, 3-2. Nobody on base, no outs. First batter of the inning. Bottom of the lineup, I think maybe we'll see a challenge pitch. Bailey sits up middle almost, and he overthrows it. It is way outside, not even close to the strike zone. Also, only 95 miles an hour. So not only did he have no velo on that pitch, he also had no location on that pitch. So the runners get a free base runner to start the inning. It's not the end of the world. Doval gets a lot of ground balls with his sinker that he throws. So I don't know, maybe throw the sinker, maybe throw a strike. Just make some competitive pitches. And then there's the Reds 8-hitter, Jacob Hurtubise. Hopefully I said that right. 0-0 pitch, quick pitch, slider, down and away. First pitch slider with the runner on first. It was low. I think he was just trying to steal a strike. But it wasn't close to the strike zone. So it's 1-0. Chapman's coming in because he scored around a bunt. And he hits him. It was pretty much the same pitch that he walked Spencer Steer on. And he's just overthrowing the baseball right now. And that is 2 free base runners to start the inning in this high leverage situation. So, good mound visit right here. Not too sure what they're talking about. I don't know what you say to him in this moment. I don't know if I was a player, if I was a pitching coach, I don't know what I would say. Like, yeah, you're kind of just not even close to the strike zone right now. Just get it in there. Like, I hate when coaches say that. Just, like, if I could throw a strike, I would. You know what I mean? But I'm also not a professional baseball player. Camilo Doval is. So, if the coach tells you to do that, you should be able to do that. Throw a strike, Camilo. Also, if this was like 10 years ago, Camilo would probably be out of the game by now. There was no 3-batter minimum rule. However, times have changed, and Camilo has to face the 9-hitter Jose Trevino no matter what. So, you have a run on first and second. Jose Trevino is the backup catcher for the Cincinnati Reds. They traded for him from the Yankees this offseason. So, obviously, he isn't the greatest hitter in the world as a backup catcher. He has had a solid start to the season, though, so you got to be careful. But you do have to get the ball over the plate. Doval has good stuff, and he's just got to trust it. So, yeah, let's get into this at-bat. They're warming up Eric Miller in the bullpen. First pitch, not close. It's a 93-mile-an-hour sinker. This is the same Doval that was hitting 102 miles an hour on his cutter just like literally 2 years ago. Where did that velocity go? I'm not too sure. But it's 1-0 to Jose Trevino, who is just trying to bunt the runners over to second and third, set his guys up to score. Squares around, takes it back, and it is not a close pitch yet again. They're just challenging him to throw a strike, and he can't. It is unbelievable. It is actually unbelievable how he just can't get a ball in the zone. And I don't know why he throws that slider so much. I know he's overthrowing his sinker, whatever right now, but if you can't throw that sinker for a strike, that's kind of ridiculous. Trevino squares around a bunt, gets the bunt off. Bailey fields it. Good play. And those are the 3 batters Camilo Doval faced last night. Pretty terrible outing. I mean, 2 free base runners allowed him to get in the scoring position. Trevino was giving himself up, and he couldn't really get the ball in there to Trevino. So, I mean, it was a 2-0 count. But then again, like I said at the beginning of the video, I don't think Doval should have came in today. I think you got to recognize he blew the game yesterday. Maybe don't put him in a high-leverage situation tonight. I don't know. Maybe wait for a game that isn't as close so he doesn't have that extra pressure that he obviously isn't doing great under. The Giants did take Camilo Doval out of the game after those 3 batters, and I do want to show you guys some quick numbers real quick comparing his stuff from last season and this season to his all-star form in 2023. All right, so I'm going to break down what I see here. On the left, we have 2023. On the right, we have 2025, and we're going to start at the bottom with the 3 pitches. You got the slider, 2023, he threw it 36% of the time, 25, 61, and that is an insane difference. In 2023, his 3 pitches are split up pretty evenly. It's the sinker, 30%, cutter, 34%, slider, 36%. And in 2025, albeit a small sample size, he is not throwing a sinker, which is down 4 miles per hour in velocity, by the way. He is throwing his slider 61% of the time, and that's pretty insane. When I feel like if you've been watching the games, you can see when he's throwing that slider, he's not comfortable with his cutter and his sinker, and that's why he's throwing his slider so much, because he feels like that's the only pitch he can throw for a strike. And that's when we get these crazy walks, because a slider is an off-speed pitch and it's obviously harder to control, but he just can't throw the cutter sinker for a strike, which is pretty insane to me. I mean, we're only like 2 weeks into the season, so I'm not worried about the velo dip right now. I think he's either that velo dip is either because he's trying to locate his pitches better, which obviously isn't working, or simply because the season just started and it takes you a while to build back up. But you'll notice a slight difference in arm angle. His arm angle in 2025 this year is 20 degrees. 2023, it is 18 degrees. And while that might not seem like insane or a lot, obviously, it does affect the movement on pitches. It could be a factor as to why he can't throw a fucking strike. And it makes a bigger difference than some people might think. It also affects his extension, which isn't as high as it used to be. But I think we'll get into more in depth in another video, talk about Camilo Doval. But this is just some of the things I'm noticing, and I wanted to bring it to light onto why he could be struggling. But at the end of the day, he just can't be used in these high leverage situations anymore. The Giants need to realize that, and until he kind of proves himself again, there is no reason he should be pitching in these high leverage situations. I mean, he was literally sent down to AAA last year because he was so bad. You don't see that from an all-star closer. So it's been pretty insane. But, yep, yanked after 3 batters, and the Giants ended up losing this game.